Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. But to be specific, welcome to another video of my Japan travels where I cover fun activities you can do in many parts of Japan. This past month, I had the opportunity to revisit Tottori. I think I had a lot more fun than I had the last time I went. If you haven't seen my previous videos, I visited Tottori last year. However, it was extremely rainy and I was very limited on what activities I can do. However, I got the opportunity to visit again while it was very nice weather every day. This time, I didn't have to wait for the weather to clear to go outside, so without further ado, welcome to another Tottori adventure. Before we get into my adventure, let's talk about Tottori a little. For those of you who don't know, Tottori is the smallest prefecture in Japan. If you absolutely hate big crowds, this is the perfect spot for you. You never have to wait in line for anything. There isn't a space that feels overly crowded, not even their airport. With that being said, it also becomes harder to travel around. With a place like Tokyo, you can always have that next train to go where you want to go. For Tottori, you may have to take an extremely long walk after you get off the nearest train station. Therefore, the most convenient method of travel is to rent a car. If you have a weekend to spare on your Japan travel and don't only want to stay in Tokyo, Tottori makes a perfect spot for the weekend. It's a perfect 2-day trip to immerse yourself in nature and see a whole side of Japan that only Tottori can offer. I would usually recommend 2 to 3 days if you're going to visit here, as there are some other hidden gems in Tottori as well. Tottori's iconic feature is its sand dunes. It is known as the Sand Prefecture. And with that, it becomes a place for water lovers to come and explore, as people who live in Tottori come and spend their free time exploring Tottori's beach. Therefore, the ideal time to come visit is during the summer. To get things going, I'm going to start with something that was not included in the video from last year, which is a boat tour. These are very common in Japan, especially when you're near the port or ocean area. There's usually a person who serves as the MC to either talk about the history of the ocean, iconic scenery and what it symbolizes, what certain parts of the ocean are known for, or what special names certain spots may have. I got to see a unique rock structure that resembles a mini cave, see some rock-filled mountains, as well as see the countryside area of Tottori. These are always around 1,000 to 15,000 yen, so around 10 to 15 US dollars, and it'll take roughly 15 to 30 minutes depending on the place and how much they have for show. If you're in a bigger known port area, it could even go on for about an hour. But if you're a big fan of the ocean, you never want to miss out on the boat tours offered in Japan. With the ability to freely explore, I had the opportunity to freely explore some shopping areas. Are you in the mood for something new? Don't you feel like you see the same old Japanese snacks at a lot of the common stores like Family Mart, Lawson, or even the big stores in Japan? Then you can't miss out on the local Tottori shops. In Japan, if you want unique souvenirs, sometimes you have to dig deep. Tottori has a lot of souvenir stores with sand themes to it. You can buy sand-themed dolls, sand-themed art, Tottori-specific ramen, chocolate, you name it. There was even a store that had a stairway for a sand dunes viewing experience. You can also get a lot of Tottori-tailored souvenirs like keychains, bracelets, towels, stickers, posters, all with the Tottori sand theme to it. If you want the traditional shopping areas, you're more than happy to check out the big malls in Japan like the 109 and Parco. Although the Parco in Tottori is going to require a far walk if you decide to go by train. However, there is a lot of Tottori souvenirs that you can have fun with looking through if you spend a lot of time there. When it's so hot, you can't help but want to go for a swim. As a Midwesterner, I never really had much of a chance to explore an actual ocean, so this was a surprise hit to me. As fun as it is going in the water, be prepared to be in a container of salt as you're in the ocean. The waves here aren't that inconsistent. However, it's easy to get to the deep side, so you want to be careful with that. I personally wanted to try climbing the rock tombs. However, the rocks were just way too painful for me doing it on my bare foot, so I ended up quickly giving up on it. That led to me having to carefully walk back to the sand area, and boy, did I accidentally get a taste of a cup filled with salt. Getting in the water is pretty easy. There's no rocks on the ground where you get in, and it's very clean as well. Unfortunately, I didn't get much footage of me when I was swimming. However, you can end up spending an entire afternoon just relaxing and enjoying the water on a hot summer day to cool you off. Whenever you visit Japan, you just cannot miss out on the onsen or bathhouses. Unfortunately, due to the nature of these places, I cannot film there. However, I cannot express how relaxed you feel after taking a nice bath there. The one I stayed in was somewhat of a smaller one. However, it did not disappoint. It was a small bathhouse that is appropriate for the size of Tottori. Like the usual, there are always relaxed spaces you can use after you're done bathing. However, I like to spend a lot of time in the bath so that I feel relaxed and ready to go. Before I get into the final segment, I want to talk about some things you can do if you have an extra day. I only had the time to take a brief look and walk here. However, if you like the idea of Japanese castles, then you must visit the castle in Tottori. It's got the usual Japanese palace feel with a mini museum inside, and has a lot of unique nature surrounding it that makes it a must if you want to have a fun walk around of medieval Japanese history. Another topic is hiking. Unfortunately for me, I was only here for a weekend, and this whole trip for me to Japan wasn't about hiking. However, if you are a big fan of hiking, then you cannot miss out on Mount Mitoku for a fee of roughly 400 yen. This is considered as one of Japan's most dangerous mountains, so you really want to come prepared. However, the hike would be worth it for the amazing view of Tottori. But to talk about the place that never gets old, you cannot miss out on the Sand Museum. As the only indoor sand museum and Tottori's most iconic spot, this year they had a France-themed exhibit. You see, this is what I realized this year. Every year, the country theme always changes. There's new displays each year to display that country's history. This can relate to times of war, old and famous artwork, their medieval palaces and historic figures, and even the country's famous animals that symbolize something during that time. They have many famous sculptors come and design their exhibit. It's been going on for almost 2 decades now. Who could have thought that the smallest prefecture in Japan can draw in the most famous of sculptors to create the most fascinating sand art? I find it crazy that they change the country theme year after year and completely change their souvenir shop to create so many fun toys and replicas of sand models representing that themed country. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you really enjoy and consider giving Tottori a visit, because I'm sure we all want to experience that peace to ourselves once in a while. I'm sure you don't want to just be crowded all the time when you visit Japan. Tottori definitely makes a unique visit that you can never go wrong with. If you really enjoyed this video, please give me that like and subscribe, and I want to keep creating fun content for you.